Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yesterday, reading from Shlokam 54 of Vishnu Sahasranama, we covered the names Somah and Amritapa. Somah means the drinker of Soma juice, or the protector of Somah, which can mean the protector of Shiva. And Amritapa means the drinker of nectar. And it also means the protector of the nectar, or it can mean the protector of the demigods. And actually there are so many meanings. Sri Madhvacharya wanted to, or he said that he would give 1,000 meanings to each 1,000 names. So now the next name is Somah. So it means nectar. So in this way, it bridges the two names which have just been given. It's related with both the names that have just been given. Somah is related to Somah, and Amritapa is related to Somah because one meaning of Somah is nectar, and another well-known name is the moon, and thus there are well-known names in India, just like someone may call their newly born boy Somesh, which means the Lord of the Moon, which means Lord Shiva. Ultimately, the Lord of everything is Krishna, but Lord Shiva, and he has some very important position also. Just like we can say just now, the overseer of India, or the person in the highest position in India, at least theoretically, is the president. So you say Rashtrapati. Ultimately the Rashtrapati of everyone is Krishna, of every Rashtra. You say, who's the president of India? Krishna. Who's the president of America? Krishna. But there are different persons who get that position at a conventional level or a lower level. So that Krishna is nectar, well, that's pretty obvious to his devotees. Everything about him is sweet. Madhuradhipater akilam madhuram. The Vallabhacharya says, he is the Lord of sweetness and everything about him is sweet. Of course, people who are demons and fools and rascals, and there are many words to describe them, they do not find Krishna to be sweet. But that is their disease. Just like in jaundice, one perceives sugar to be bitter. If you go in the hospital, in a ward, and everyone has jaundice, and you give everyone sugar, they'll all say it's bitter. So it might seem that sugar is bitter. They all give the same evidence. But actually the nature of sugar is sweet, and it's only because they're in a diseased condition that they find it to be bitter. So at least the devotees can appreciate him as being sweet nectar. Yesterday we discussed how the demigods and the demons were fighting over the nectar. But they all missed the real nectar. That the Supreme Lord was personally there in their midst, and they thought that some material drink that would make their life long, that was the real nectar. He was there in so many forms in that pastime. He was there as in his original Vishnu form, and they thought, well, he's just one of us. He's one of the demigods. He's Indranuj is one of his names, younger brother of Indra. Then he took the form of Kurma avatar. You can have darshan of Kurma avatar. About 4 hours away from here? 6 hours. And if you go at the speed of a tortoise, then it'll take you much longer to go. I think more than a month. I think that's the only Kurma temple that I know of, actually, at Sri Kakulam, Kurma Kshetra. Then he was underneath Mandara Parvata as Kurma avatar, and on top he manifested a 1,000-arm form. Then again, he manifested himself as Mohini, himself, herself. How do you say that in Telugu? It's all the same. Nararup, Nari Rup. Rupa. Rupa is male and Rupa is female in Sanskrit. I don't know about in Telugu. So that Mohini Murti, she's also somewhat manifest, quite close to here. That temple you can visit. You can see the front side is male form and back side is female form. So the demons became attracted to that form, but for the wrong reason. They took her to be a form for material enjoyment. So all of them, the demigods and the demons, they were fighting over the nectar produced from the milk ocean, but they missed the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. The first thing which came out of the ocean during the churning was? Question. Who can? Here we have Srimad Bhagavatam quiz. No prizes, otherwise it's gambling. Poison. So, and then Lord Shiva drank that poison. Then he became known as Nilakanta. He got a blue throat. So, these are all Krishna's pastimes. Nice, very nice to hear. Shrinu sukhadam shubhadam bhavasaram Srijaya deva kaveridam uditam udaram Shrinu sukhadam shubhadam bhavasaram Keshavadhrita Dashavidharupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaidev Goswami says that these forms of the Lord, they're all first of all he says about his own poetry. It's very beautiful and very udara. It's very benefit bestowing. And hearing it, we become happy and blessed in this otherwise miserable material world. So therein he describes 10 avatars, but we have here, so in this churning of the milk ocean pastime, there are more avatars than the 10. So there are unlimited avatars. How many avatars are there? 10. If we look in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the third chapter of the first canto, we'll find, how many is it? 27? 28? Yeah. But in that chapter, Sutta Goswami says that, Shonaka says, Avataram here sankheyam. The avatar, they're unlimited, uncountable. That doesn't mean that Sai Baba is an avatar. You can't invent an avatar. Last night someone said, well, if someone desires enough, can Sai Baba become an avatar? But you can vote, you can bring the whole population of India to vote. Of course, they'll never agree on anything altogether. But even if the whole population agreed that Chandrababa Naidu is an avatar of Vishnu, it wouldn't become true. We have to understand the science of God, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam. By understanding Krishna properly, we can taste the nectar of Krishna consciousness. By going to all these bogus avatars, there's no nectar there. There's the halahal, the poison from the ocean of material existence. But you will have to drink that yourself. And you're not Lord Shiva, so you can't digest it. then you have to become a worm in stool for your offense of equating the actual personality of Godhead with some jiva, some insignificant living being. You may say, well, Sai Baba, he's not insignificant. Thousands of people go every day to his shrine. He's a very important person. You know, in the rainy season, so many frogs, they make a noise. So because the frogs are all making a big noise, does it mean that it's very important? They're just advertising to the snake, here I am, come and swallow me. So they all get eaten up by those who, instead of singing the sweet kirtan of Krishna Nama, they want to praise some person who's not at all Bhagavan. They get eaten up by the Kala Sarpa, the snake of time. So when we're discussing here, Krishna is all nectar, it's not just some sentiment. We have to understand it very clearly. We may think that the beautiful lips of my wife, that's real nectar. But that's not amrita. That leads to mrita. She will have to die, you will have to die. Krishna is amrita, deathless. And if we serve Krishna, we also become deathless. But we can't just substitute someone for Krishna. That is Mayavad. They think that worshipping Sai Baba is bhakti. It's not bhakti, it's the opposite. Just like in Krishna Leela, there was one imitation Vasudev called Paundraka. And he just became an object of laughter for Krishna and his associates. And Krishna killed him. So Krishna is nectar, and he's also the moon. Pushnami chaushati sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I become the moon and give the rasa which nourishes all the plant life. Those of us who are older by years in this assembly here, we can state that when we were younger, the vegetables used to be fruit all used to be very tasty. Now it's not very tasty, isn't it? The rice, the vegetables, the fruit. If you close your eyes, you think you're eating cardboard or plastic or something like this. Before, it used to be so tasty. What happened? Well, it seems the blessing of the moon is not there so much. Maybe because of all the pollution, the moon rays aren't getting through. Even, you may say, well, it's because of all the chemicals, but even the organic food doesn't have the same flavor. So that's another symptom of Kali Yuga, that all good things become decreased and all bad things become increased. So even the farmers, they know this, the benefit of the moonlight, and of all the different constellations upon the vegetation. So they used to be that on such and such a tithi, you should plant such and such a crop. People would follow this. One of the important functions of the astrologer in the village would be to say, now you have to plant this crop. According to tithi and according to nakshatra, then you would find the right time to plant the crop. Now they'll say that, well, that's just some superstition. But actually the moon and the different planets, they affect life. They're all living. They think that they'll go and explore some rocks in space, but they don't know that all the planets are living. The earth is living personality. Modern man is extremely gross, sthul buddhi. He thinks that life is just a product of chemicals. They don't know that life is everywhere. the living principle, the jiva, that is what makes the world go round. Yayedam dharyate jagat aparayamitastvanyang prakritim vidime param jiva bhutang mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. It's because of the presence of the jivas under the supervision of Krishna. But they think it's all just chemicals, and they'll explode mountains to take the rocks, all kinds of sinful activities they do. So Krishna, he is the moon, and therefore we say Ramachandra, Krishna Chandra, because the moon is very much appreciated for the beauty. Now in the cities you can't appreciate the beauty of the moon. With all these neon lights, you don't see the beautiful moon. And neon lights, the halogen nowadays, halogen lights. But the moon is very much appreciated also in the scorching heat, which you know very well about in West Godavari district. How at night the cooling rays of the moon are very pleasant. So Krishna is always compared with the moon because of the cooling effect. That means we're burning in the fire of material existence, and we get relief from the moon. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra shushitala. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, they are more cooling than many millions of moons. And the beauty of the moon is also one factor in why Krishna is compared to the moon. And also because the moon, in giving its soothing rays, gives to everyone. I'm quoting now from Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion. Krishna is sometimes compared to the moon, which does not hesitate to distribute its soothing rays even on the houses of the Chandalas and other untouchables. About that word Shushitala, that also comes comparing Krishna's lotus feet to the cooling moon. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's described, Krishna Kara Padatala Koti Chandra Shushitala. The palms of the hands and the soles of the feet of Krishna, they're both cooling like many millions of moons. Specifically describing the beauty of Krishna, comparing his form to that of the moon or moons. There is a passage in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sakhi He Krishna Mukha Dvija Raja Raja. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking in the mood of Radharani, speaking to one of his girlfriends. She says that the face of Krishna is the king of kings of all the high-class people. Krishna Bapu Singhasane Boshi Raja Shashane Kare Sange Chandra Samaj. So the face of Krishna is the king of all moons, and the body of Krishna is the throne. And thus the king governs over a whole group of moons. So she goes on to describe metaphorically how Krishna's body is an assemblage of moons. Rupak is the word for metaphor. Rupak. Duiganda Suchikan Jini Mani Sudarpan Shedui Purna Chandra Jani Lalate Ashtami Indu Tahate Chandana Bindu She Eka Purna Chandra Mani. Krishna's two cheeks, they're shiny, which defeat the shininess of a Mani Sudarpan, of a jewel which is so clear that it's just like a mirror. So there we have two full moons, are the two cheeks of Krishna. His forehead is a Ashtami Indu, which means a half moon. Because Ashtami means that on the 8th day, either in the Shukla, I'm saying Gaura Paksha, we say Gaura Paksha or Shukla Paksha, or in the Krishna Paksha, the moon is just half. So Krishna's forehead is like a Ashtami Indu. Indu also means moon. And on his forehead is a Chandana Bindu, a spot of sandalwood pulp. So that one spot, that's one full moon. Karanaka Chande Hat. So the nails on his hands are many full moons. Vangshi Upa Kare Nat, and on his hands is the flute which is dancing. Taragit Muralir Tan. Their song is the melody of that flute. So the moons of Krishna's fingernails, they're singing, and their song is the song of the flute. Padanaka Chandragan. So also his toenails are an assemblage of moons. Tale Kare Nartana, and they dance on the floor, keeping the beat. Nupare Dhani Jargan, and the song of the moons, who are his toenails, they are the jingling of his ankle bells. So it's very ornamental discussion here. Alankarik. Nache Makara Kundal, Netra Lila Kamala, Vilasi Raja Shatata Nachai. So, Krishna's playing his flute, he's dancing, then the earrings, Makara earrings, they're also dancing. His eyes are past Lila Kamala, with pastime lotus. So in this way, the king of moons, always performs his pastimes of making everything dance. His eyebrows are like a dhanu, bru dhanu, bow. Netra ban, with his eyes are the arrows. Dhanur gun dui kan, nari mana lokha bandhe bindhi thai. So, with the bow and the arrows, he pierces the hearts of, Prabhupada translates this, of the gopis. He takes aim and pierces them. E chande baronat, pashari chande hat, binimule bilai nijamrita. The dancing features of his face surpass all other full moons and expand the marketplace of full moons. The nectar of Krishna's face, remember the nectar comes from the moon, is priceless. But he distributes that nectar everywhere, to everyone. Even though it's priceless, give to everyone. They're different to the government of India policy, which takes away all the money from everyone. But Krishna gives the priceless nectar of himself to everyone. So we should make Ram Raja, bring back Ram as the king. And if anyone's corrupt, he'll just shoot them with his arrows, finished. There's no corruption in Ayodhya, only in Lanka. Now after Ram went also, he cleaned out the corruption. He put Vibhishana on the throne. So that's the real solution to the problem. So, Kahon smita jyot snamrite, kahare adharamrite, shablok kare apya, Some people, they purchase the moon rays of his sweet smiles, and others purchase the nectar of his lips. Thus he pleases everyone. What is the price to purchase that priceless nectar? It is greed, not mundane greed, but a spiritual, very strong desire. I want to get the nectar from Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhav. What is that? Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavana Mati. Kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tasya mulyam lolyam tatra mulyam lolyam ekalam. Then last line, janma koti sukritaya na labhyate. The nectar of Krishna is available. The price is greed. If it's available anywhere, just go and buy it. Any millions of lifetimes of pious activities, mundane pious activities, you can't get that. Even if you bring 40,000 crore in black money, or even white money, you can't buy Krishna Bhakti. One has to be eager for that. It's Krishna. Krishna is full of nectar. No imitation gods are full of nectar. They're all full of poison. So, continuing description from Chaitanya Charitamrita, other sections. Kotindu Shitangaka. Krishna is described as his body is cooler than many millions and millions of moons. Krishna Anga Sushitala Kiko Himutarabal Charai Jine Kotindu Chandan. Krishna's transcendental body is so cool that it cannot be compared even to sandalwood pulp, or to millions upon millions of moons. So this is some of the many descriptions of Krishna, comparing him to the moon. Practically all the Vaishnava poets, they all compare Krishna to the moon. These foolish people, they're writing songs for the cinema. People sing some cinema songs and wasting their sentiment and upon some useless person. There's so many old cinema stars. Within few years, Amitabh Bachchan will have to die. Then this Rajnikant, he will have to die. They're all old men now. Any Telugu famous film star became old, must be. Oh, what happened to this, that Ramachandra, what's his name, Ramachandra Rao or something? Then he died and people are lamenting. They're all fools. The real person we should be aiming for is Krishna. All these film stars, they'll be forgotten. There may be some great sports hero. Everyone's very enthusiastic about them. Just like one generation ago, Kapila Dev, great cricketer. Now the young people, what do they care? They're interested in the new cricketers. Even that great, unprecedented hero among heroes. What's his name? Sachin Tendulkar. He'll also be forgotten in a short time. No, we'll never forget him. Of course he'll be forgotten. But we're going on worshipping Krishna. This is going on for how many years? Thousands, millions, crores. Even before the creation, Krishna was being worshipped. In course of time, this Sai Baba, no one will even know the name. No one will bother at all. And still the worship of Krishna will be going on. So why don't people become sane? Why are they so insane as to worship film stars and cricket stars and imagined avatars? If anyone is just a little bit intelligent, they can understand that definitely Krishna is the proper object of worship. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and no one else. There's a saying of Einstein. Generally we quote Shastra, but sometimes if some materialistic people, they may also have, by the grace of Paramatma, they may have some insights. So Einstein is said to have said that I know of two things which are unlimited: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure of the first. So maybe the universe is limited, maybe it's unlimited, but human stupidity, it's unlimited. But he was also stupid because he spent all his life studying the physics and energies and mathematics, and he never asked Atato Brahma Jignasa. Now we should inquire into the spiritual nature of everything. So he was a very intelligent fool. He was the direction of his life was foolish, but he very intelligently pursued the wrong thing, which means ultimately it's all foolish. Okay, next name is Purusattama. Not Purushottama, Purusattama. Oh, wait a minute. No, sorry. The next name is Purujit. So, Purujit is a name which comes very early in the Bhagavad Gita to describe it's the name of one of the warriors at Kurukshetra. He was fighting on the side of Duryodhana. So, Puru means all or many, and Jit means conqueror, so it means the conqueror of all. So it's a typical Kshatriya name. The parents, they hope that the child will live up to the name when they give such a name. So names like that. Duryodhana means very difficult to fight with. Dushasana, very difficult to control. These are all Kshatriya names. But actually, this name Purujit is properly ascribed to Krishna. Because ultimately, I'll just get back to, I missed one thing here. For Somah, Baladev Vidyabhushan gives the meaning. Somah means that he is famous and handsome like the moon over Gokul. So, one may have the name Purujit or Ranajit. There's another Kshatriya name, one who conquers in battle. Or Rajesh, one who controls over many kings. But ultimately these names, they're all meant for Krishna. He is the conqueror of everyone and one and all. There are many narrations how Krishna would single-handedly defeat whole armies, the whole army of Jarasandha. They're becoming so many soldiers, Krishna would come out just alone and defeat them all very quickly. Similarly, Rama standing one man with his bow and arrows, all the enemies just wiped out. No one can do this, only Krishna. Or if one is empowered, he can also do, just like Arjuna, he defeated 20,000 Nivata Kavachas, the demons. In Ramayana, there's a verse that Dasharath speaks to Kaikeyi as he's pleading with Kaikeyi to withdraw her terrible request. He describes how Rama has conquered all people in different ways. Satyena lokan jayati. He's conquered over the people in general by his truthfulness. They can trust him. Dinandanena raghavaha. He's conquered, in other words, he's conquered the heart of the poor people by giving them charity. Gurun su shru shaya vira. By his humble serving mood, he's conquered over his gurus. Here guru means not just Vishwamitra, who was the guru of Rama, but it also means all the elderly people, including Dasharatha and Kaikeyi. And Dhanusha Yudhi Satravan, he's conquered over all the enemies by his mighty bow. Sri Ramanuja has described how Rama conquered over different members of one family. Ravana was conquered by Rama's valor, his virya. Vibhishana was conquered. He conquered the heart of Vibhishana. Rama conquered him by Rama's dharma, his good character. And Shurpanakha, she was conquered by his beauty. And of course, he's conquered the whole universe. The whole universe is under his control. All the scientists, they like to study all the different planets and stars and constellations and how everything is moving on the macrocosmic level. And at the microcosmic level, there's all the different forces within the atom. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharatra. Everything in the universe, from the biggest to the smallest, is going on under the supervision, the control of Krishna. It's not that Krishna had to go to the gymnasium and get some big muscles. Even as a tiny child, he was killing so many demons. He killed Hiranyakashipu and so many demons. In age after age, he kills so many demons. So we can pray to him, you please conquer this demon, myself, who's trying to be your devotee. I have so many demons in my heart. So you kill them all and you sit on the throne of my heart and give me the nectar of your pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. We'll finish there. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Any question, please? We should have had Hindi translation for the audios. Anyway, we didn't.